Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. It is June 7th, which is a Wednesday. Mark Meadows is in the news, and not necessarily for great reasons. At least if you're Mark Meadows. Or if you're Donald Trump, that is. So news reporting suggests that Mark Meadows has testified in front of a grand jury regarding the documents case. Probably he's testified in grand juries for other cases too. And I've read some stories, listened to numerous podcasts on this news story, and it was reminding me that he was the one who gave up all these text messages to the January 6th committee, which basically let them know all these people were messaging Mark Meadows to go to Trump, so that he was like the one sole contact that was getting into Trump. So in his testimony, his lawyer said, Mr. Meadows has maintained a commitment to tell the truth where he has a legal obligation, there's a qualifier, to do so. In other words, when he's required to tell the truth, he did, like if he made a plea deal. If any other time, he's not required to tell the truth. Now, it's perjury, but you're allowed to perjure yourself, I suppose, and you could plead the fifth. So, did he testify and tell the truth on things he didn't have immunity for? Maybe. I don't know. We'll find out. That's not really that important. What is important to know is what's the situation? What was his testimony like? How's he doing right now? And then we can jump onto Taylor Budowich. Actually, maybe I'll do that in a different video because it's a different beast altogether. But Mark Meadows, this should be a long enough video just covering him. The testimony that he gave in the Mar-a-lago documents case, how is that going to impact the documents case? For entertainment purposes only, of course. All right, let's see what Trump's former chief of staff has to say. What has he done? Oh, dear me. Who did he betray? Okay, there's heartbreak and betrayal here. I'm right now working under the assumption that this is the betrayal to Donald Trump. It could be a betrayal to country too, but let's work on Trump, and then there's the celebration. Okay, right off the bat, what this is telling me is that he spilled the beans. He spilled the beans as to what was going on the documents case, probably on other cases too, because he's trying to save his hide. And, there's a celebration with this because his testimony is going to be a very important part and successful part. I've heard multiple, bring it back up again. I've heard multiple interviews like on YouTube or like, MSNBC, like Morning Joe or something like that. And they keep referring to him as like a star witness. So if the star card comes up, or if you see the star card come up in my Jack Smith readings, we might associate the star card with Mark Meadows. Okay? So that's the current thing, is the betrayal and the celebration. In the past is the chariot. So, moving the Trump train forward, as it were. But I think what ended up happening is that once he was put in a position where he had to decide if he's going to save himself or save Trump, he opted to save himself, and he went forward with providing information. This grand jury testimony did not necessarily happen recently. It's just that we're learning about it now. Current situation, nightmare. He might be in a bad position in that maybe he got immunity for his testimony, but they probably have him on other stuff as well. So he's not necessarily out of the woods as far as his own personal jeopardy, but the nightmare is going to definitely be for the defendant in the Mar-a-Lago documents case, the main defendant. That would be Donald Trump, in case you didn't know who I was referring to. Overarching energy is the Two of Wands, the preparation and the preparing. So this could be, the Mar-a-Lago document case getting ready to go before the grand jury, and he was a part of that preparation to get it in there. It could also be Mark Meadows contemplating what his next move is, or where he's going to live next after any personal jeopardy is done. Let's say it's the Mar-a-Lago case. It helped move that case forward. It gave them new leads and a way to progress the documents case. The lesson to be learned is the Page of Pentacles. I think, again, that this betrayal is that he came up with new information that was actionable, and that the DOJ has now actioned or is actioning on that. But yeah, he gave up stuff of value. Outcome. Somebody's going away. Is it Mark Meadows going away, or is Trump going away? I would say Mark Meadows is also going to go away. He's probably going to get some time for something else that he did. That's going to be implied with that. You know, it got an immunity deal. Maybe he won't get as much time otherwise, but he's done. And I think this is really, his testimony also seals the deal on Trump with the Mar-a-Lago documents case. Underneath it, yeah, he's talked. He talked and talked and talked and talked and talked. Told him everything. Gave him stuff of value. Okay, so that's Mark Meadows' testimony and its impact on the Mar-a-Lago documents case. Let's find out if he himself is in trouble, because I think he is. Okay, mix cards up, and I will go ahead and shuffle a little bit. And then ramble on, talking so you don't have to hear the card shuffling the whole time. Yeah, it's... I guess when you make yourself the single point of contact in the White House, everything goes through you. It means his fingers in all these different pies, and he has culpability for everything that's going on, especially if you don't report it. I mean, he makes a very valuable linchpin to sort of connect all the stuff that's going on. But if there's shenanigans going on, now you have an obligation to report it. And he may not have personally done anything, but it's going to be a conspiracy. There's got to be conspiracy charges against him. They're going to get him on something like that. Probably it could be RICO, tax evasion, or it's going to be. I'm sure he made a bunch of money, or bribery, and other stuff that he hasn't declared. And there's conspiracies in there. So yeah, he'll get some felony charges thrown out, and these won't be misdemeanors. Which is probably why you've got that nightmare scenario. So how is he doing? These cards keep wanting to stay on top, so bring you on down. Mark Meadows, how are you doing right now? Oh, the argy-bargy, fighting, the bickering, the turmoil going on in his life. Okay, because, here's Jack Smith right there. They're just, yeah. His life is going to be topsy-turvy, and it's all because of this man right there. In the past, we have the Queen of Swords, current situation, Page of Pentacles, that came up the last time, the thing he offered a value, trying to fight off, Judgment comes. Ooh, maybe he does all right. Okay, so what do we got? Signifier card. 5 of Wands. This could be the muddying the water cards. This is the fighting, the arguing, just the competition that was out there, crossed with Jack Smith, who I'm naming as the King of Swords in this one. It could be Merrick Garland, but it's basically there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of stuff going on, but it's involving Jack Smith. In the past, we have the Queen of Swords. Again, it's he's given testimony in the past for this case, and it had to be very cut and dry testimony, likely because he had made some type of plea deal. So you don't get to lie. You have to be truthful on it. Now, he might have pleaded the fifth on some stuff, but the stuff that he did talk about, he was very clear on what it was that he did and what it was that he knew. Current situation is that Page of Pentacles. He's offered the things of value that he could offer to this. Underneath it all, mind you, is the Sun card. It's truth and illumination. So we're finding out about his testimony, and I believe his testimony is what he's testified to. His lawyer is correct. He did testify truthfully to the stuff he testified to, and it's going to be very illuminating. by doing that, he's giving the Justice Department the advantage to get their conviction, but it's also giving him the ability to fend off the worst of the charges he could be facing. I don't think he'll be able to win against all of them, but he'll be able to fend off a lot of them as part of a plea deal. Why do I say that? Because here's your plea deal right here. Your plea deal, and the court, he's going to give up information, but there's still going to be judgment. And I think it's going to be judgment on him as well as the players in the Mar-a-lago document case. So he's going to have to face judgment for his part on it. This is the interesting part. It was the Republican Happy Family card. Does this mean that he gets off? I mean, you could look at it and say, yay, he gets off to walk off into the sunset and the rainbows and the couple and everybody's happy. The truth is not the Republicans' best friend. The truth, the Sun card is actually their worst enemy. So I think in this case, this is going to, the celebration could be for us because he ends up helping seal bring an end to the Trump train, as it were. But I think this card also tends to represent the GOP. So I think it's going to implicate other members of the GOP, and we'll find out the GOP's involvement in all this. Okay, just a little four-carder now. And that four-carder is, does his testimony basically, is this the key testimony? What can you say about his testimony? Is this the key testimony in this case? Or do we want to know that? Yeah, I think that's enough. As opposed to whether the cases are spurred off of this one. But we asked what the general situation is. We asked how he's feeling, and let's ask: is he going to prison too? Did they find other stuff on him to send him to prison, or will he have to serve jail time? How about incarceration? Will he be incarcerated for his role in the document case and other things? I don't see how he gets out of it, but let's see. Well, something's going to come out of this. There's the Queen of Swords again. Oh, somebody's going away. Yeah, he's definitely going away. Okay. So I asked, will he serve time? Yeah, this is him. This is him as the magician manifesting. He's the one who was central to all of this. Now, the magician has all four symbols. So it's, again, I was talking about his finger and all the pies. All four symbols are all the pies. So he was involved in all the stuff. And he was a key figure in all this. But now he's going to be going away. He's not getting off scot-free. He's going to be going away for some time. Why? Because he had to tell the truth in order to save his bacon. Cut off my head here. He had to tell the truth in order to save his bacon. But by telling the truth, it also implicated him on stuff. So he was stuck. He was stuck, but he was a prisoner of his own making. And, sometimes you just got to pay the price. And here's the piper coming to collect. Yeah. It won't be the death of him, but it's, the end of his freedom, and it's the end of, basically, this brings the end of the line to the Trump investigations, because his testimony is key, and, brings it to a conclusion. Underneath is the world card. So it's his manifestation is what he did, and now it's coming to an end. They got the right guy, and they got the testimony from the right guy. So my thoughts on that are, his testimony is going to end up being really key to the case. Does that mean that Trump is going to be convicted? No, doesn't mean he's going to be convicted, because this is still a trial by your jury and your peers, but it does mean that he will be indicted. And if there's jury shenanigans, there's jury shenanigans, but the government certainly will have the rest of the story, and we'll know who the players are. Okay, so that's my thoughts on Mark Meadows. Thank you for watching this video. Do all the YouTube-y stuff, the like, subscribe, and all that. Share it if you can. Thank you for all your support. I really do appreciate it. I'll catch you on the next video. Take care.